My wife couldn't make it tonight, so Kelly, if you're watching, I love you. I should also note that my slides are 36 megabytes, my talk is 300 seconds long. That means that this presentation is going at 120 kilobytes per second. And I'm a computer scientist, and in computer science we have a data structure called a tree. Trees are made up of nodes connected to other nodes. Every tree has one parent and 0 or more children. The node with no parents is called the root of the tree. The nodes with no children are called the leaves. We use trees to represent hierarchical data like file systems, family trees, and organizational charts. And we typically draw the root at the top of the tree and the leaves at the bottom of the tree, because we start drawing at the top of the piece of paper, we're not sure how big it's going to be. But top and bottom in English have value associated with them. Top, high, those have a lot of value. Bottom, low, those have less value. That means that in your typical pyramid-style organization chart, all of your value, all your power, all your influence, that's all concentrated at the top of your pyramid where your executives sit. Meanwhile, all of the frontline employees who do all the super critical work that the organization was designed for, they're the bricks supporting the weight of that gigantic pyramid. Now, when a biologist draws a tree, they don't start with the root at the top and the leaves at the bottom. They draw a tree with the root at the bottom and the leaves at the top. And they have more than just one root. There's a whole bunch of roots holding the tree, keeping it from falling over. The purpose of a root in a biology tree is to suck water and nutrients from the soil and distribute it throughout the tree where those resources are needed. And the purpose of the leaves in a biology tree is to interact with the environment, to perform photosynthesis, to breathe carbon dioxide, breathe out oxygen. So what would happen if you took that same pyramid org chart and turned it upside down, so it's like a biology tree instead of a computer science tree? Well, what you might find is that now the frontline employees who do that crucial work of the organization, they're all at the leaves up at the top. They are free to move and interact with the environment. You can grow new leaves as you need to, and they're really accessible to the people who want to come up and interact with that tree. In this model, the management becomes successively thicker branches. And the purpose of these branches is to provide support to the leaves and the branches that are above them, to ensure those leaves are in the place in the environment where they're needed. The trunk in this model is not just bigger management. It's all of those crucial functions that keep the organization running and the tree from falling over. Think about your IT department, your project managers, your HR department, your lawyers, all those people, they're the trunk. And your executives, they're down in the dirt where they're not going to get too big of an ego. The executives and the board's job is to pull resources up from the soil and distribute it throughout the tree so that you have a healthy organization. This might sound like a radical idea, but the first org chart ever put down on paper followed this tree model. The New York Erie Railroad in the 1850s needed to understand what the information flow was between the branches where the trains run and the central office who coordinates and makes strategy decisions. You can see that there's a lot of flexibility given to the regional branch managers to manage their workforce and their resources, while the central team is focused on making investments, moving money and trains around. So there are some advantages of modeling your organization like this. One of them is that your frontline employees who are at the leaves, they can come and go as the seasons change, as people develop, as your organization needs change. You can grow new leaves, not a big deal. Additionally, different parts of your org can have a different structure. Your branches can grow in different shapes based on the challenges faced by that part of the organization. You don't have to have a one-size-fits-all model like in a pyramid. Finally, if your org gets too big, you can become a banyan tree. These gigantic trees grow new trunks to support different parts of the tree so that they don't have to rely on the central trunk for everything. Now, my experience with this upside-down org chart comes at Burning Man. I'm a volunteer with the Black Rock Rangers, and instead of a tree, our model is a poop funnel. All the poop comes in at the top of the funnel, and that's where the frontline volunteers deal with it. And a lot of them are pretty new at this. They can deal with most of the situations, but some of the harder problems, those go further down the poop funnel to where the shift leads and the officers of the day deal with them. Those are more experienced rangers, and they have more resources that they can bring to bear on the problem. Finally, the stinkiest, nastiest, ugliest, grossest poop, that's at the very tip of the funnel where the ranger operations managers sit. They have the most experience dealing with the nastiest problems. That's why they get the big bucks. Now, it might seem like everybody at Ignite Boulder is a startup founder, but even if you don't manage anybody, you can still participate in this project. All you have to do is draw your own personal org chart. Do you have the support that you need? Do you have the flexibility that you desire? Draw it and find out.